Hello everybody, welcome back to IXL tutorials. This is Mr. Duffick. It's been quite a while, but we're going to start some of these back up again. So today I am back with IXL C4 under geometry, which is find measures of complementary, supplementary, vertical, and adjacent angles. So what's really going to help you coming into this IXL is knowing some of these terms or what they mean. I just did a simple Google search and I had a bunch of tables come up, and I liked this image particularly well. Complementary angles are going to be angles that sum or add up to 90 degrees. They do not have to be together. They can be separate, like pictured here. Supplementary angles are going to be two angles that add up to 180 degrees. Congruent just means the same or equal. Adjacent just means angles that are right next to each other. Technically, it's two angles that share a line and a vertex point, but just two angles that are next to each other. And then vertical angles are angles that are on opposite sides of an intersection point. So 1 and 2 are going to be considered vertical angles, and therefore they are going to be equal. They're going to be the same exact degree value. So knowing that, let's jump into this IXL question right here. And it says, and I already stole it, the measure of an angle is 8 degrees. What is the measure of its complementary angle? So, okay, the key word here is going to be complementary. Complementary, if you remember, going back to our diagram, just means that two angles adding up to 90 degrees are going to be complementary angles. So 50 plus 40 are going to be complementary angles because 50 plus 40 add up to 90. So how we do this is we know 8 is one of our angles, and it wants to know what the other angle is that's going to help you add up to 90. So basic algebra problem, just go 8 degrees plus our missing complementary angle. We'll just do an arbitrary x equals 90 degrees. Okay? So what is the measure of its complementary angle? So what's the measure of x? What plus 8 equals 90? Well, you can just subtract 8 from both sides like any old algebra problem. 8 minus 8 is 0. So we are left with x equals 90 minus 8 is 82 degrees. And that's it. That's all there is to it. 8 plus 82 is 90. Therefore, 8 and 82 are both complementary angles. So I'm just going to type in the 82 right here. And there you go. Okay. Next, similar question, but now we're going to be doing supplementary angles. So the measure of an angle is 18 degrees. What is the measure of its supplementary angle? Again, going back to our little diagram here, supplementary is just 82 angles that add up to 180 degrees. Okay, so we'll go back to snipping tool. We will steal this problem. Okay, and we will do one angle is 18. We are trying to find its supplementary angle, so we are trying to find the other angle. Do an arbitrary x. And that, of course, is going to add up to 180 degrees because, again, the angles are supplementary. That just means they're going to add up to 180. So 18 plus what is 180? Well, we can subtract 18 from both sides like usual. 18s cancel out, so x equals 180 minus 18 is going to be 162 degrees. So 18 plus 162 is going to be 180 degrees. Therefore, 18 and 162 are supplementary angles. I'm going to go over here and type in 162, and that is correct. Okay, so it took me a while to find another problem. This one is a different kind of problem. We are asked to find the value of z, the value of z. Okay, well, we're going to look at this and we're going to see that this is a linear pair, right? More specifically, we know that z plus 128 have to equal 180. They're going to be supplemental or supplementary angles. So we have Z plus 128 equals 180. And now we're just going to solve for Z. We will subtract 128 from both sides. So Z equals 180 minus 128 should be 52. Okay, 52 plus 128 should equal 180, so therefore 52 and 128 are supplementary angles. So Z is going to equal 52. We will plug that in. Great. Okay. What is the value of K? You're just going to add those together, no big deal. This is a good adjacent angle problem. Remember, adjacent angles are just angles that are side by side next to each other. They share a line and a vertex point. So these two angles are adjacent. 26 is adjacent to 40. They're both next to each other. They share the same line. So this question is just asking what K is, and K is just going to be, when you add both angles together, the entirety of this angle. So 26 plus 40 very easily is 66. So that is going to be the answer here. Okay, and here is a good vertical angle problem. Again, it took me a while to find another problem. So we're going to steal this one. Okay, and remember, a vertical angle or a pair of vertical angles are just going to be angles that are on the opposite side of an intersection point, right? We have two lines that intersect right here at the middle with this point, it's vertex. And on opposite sides are going to be vertical angles. They are going to be equal. So what is the value of U? Well, we know that our lines are going to intersect right here in the middle, right? And to make this easier on us, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this small line that doesn't really do much for us. And that really makes it clear to see that we only have two main lines here, and they intersect at this vertex in the middle, right? And so it's asking for the value of U. Well, what is the vertical angle of U? What is our opposite angle? 73, right? We know that these are vertical angles because they are opposite sides of our vertex, and also because they are vertical angles, they are going to be equal or congruent. So therefore, U is also going to equal 73. 73. There we go. Okay, this one is going to be kind of a combination of the other ones, which is great. So I'm going to end it right after this problem. We'll do this one, and that should be good for this video. This one is going to require a little bit more thinking, but no big deal. We're more than used to it. So what is the value of V? The value of V. Okay, well, we have angle V right here, and we were saying that vertical angles are always going to be equal, right? So our intersection point is right here. Now, we have to remember, when we're talking about vertical angles, we're talking about angles that are going to be between the same two intersecting lines. So 77, this entire angle of 77 is really going to correlate with the entirety of this angle over here, right? Because just like with the last problem, if we kind of erase this other line coming out, it's a lot easier to see that we have this vertical up and down line, and we have this diagonal line intersecting, and that's it. And this angle over here is going to form 77, and therefore the entire angle over here is going to form 77 as well. Okay, so that's a mistake some students make. Make sure that you know which two angles are the vertical angles. Okay, make sure you understand which degree values go where. So 77 will be the entire thing here because the vertical angle down here is 77. And therefore, if we wanted to find V, we could just figure out what is left over after taking out the 33. So V plus our 33, the other side, is going to equal the entire angle of 77. Okay, so we can subtract 33 from both sides. V, those cancel out, equals 77 minus 33 is 44. So our angle over here of 33 plus V, which is 44, is going to equal 77, which is going to be a vertical angle with our 77 down here. Okay, and that is all there is to that. So I'm going to plug this in, 44. And bada bing, bada boom, we're all done. So that is where I'm going to end the video.